Okay, let's jump right into some recent comments from Kathy Wakile, looking back at her time on Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Right.
She's touched on, things that happened sort of away from the cameras, how she saw specific moments,
Mm-hmm.
and even some, well, pretty unexpected takes on people she was close to back then.
Yeah, it definitely gives us a different perspective on moments viewers might remember, but filtered through her own experience using her recollections.
Okay, so the first big one that really jumps out is that reunion scene, the one with her sister, Rosie. Kathy actually mentioned something pretty key, that a significant amount of what was said, like during that whole exchange, it just wasn't aired.
Ah, okay. And what's insightful there is how she describes the impact of those specific unaired comments. She said they weren't just, background noise. They specifically got her really fired up, made her blood boil. And she even said, like, that wasn't her usual way. So it suggests the real emotional level in the room was maybe driven by things we, the audience, never actually got to see.
And that intensity clearly spilled over. She talked about Rosie, who was off stage,
Right.
hearing these unaired things
Yeah.
and reacting really, really strongly. I think the phrase used was screamed uncontrollably.
Exactly. And Kathy's immediate feeling, she said, was that she had to sort of chill everything down fast.
Like manage the situation.
Yeah, to diffuse this quickly because she genuinely felt like, oh, S was going to go down. It shows that tension she felt in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And she links it directly back to things happening off screen or maybe stuff that got edited out.
Definitely makes you think about how much the final cut shapes the story we see.
For sure.
Another huge event she talked about was the christening.
Ah.
She basically identified this as the moment she realized, okay, this isn't going to be the fun, playful show she maybe thought it would be.
Well, the way it's described is a pretty major fight broke out. Gorga, Giudice, apparently a bunch of other people too, just chaos.
And her reaction, and Rich's too, was pretty dramatic.
Yeah.
They literally ripped their mics off.
Yeah, and she even went further. She recounted telling production right then and there, I didn't sign on for this sate, saying, I told you not to poke the bear, and then she just left the event.
So that detail, it's not just about the fight itself.
Exactly. It's more a window into her setting a boundary, her immediate, visceral reaction to that level of conflict happening right there, something the audience wouldn't have seen in that exact moment.
And Richie even chimed in while she was talking about this, didn't he, with a hypothetical fight.
Oh, yeah. Between Giudice and Gorga. He made a very harsh prediction, used some pretty offensive language, actually, and just said, it would be a massacre, by the way. It would be a massacre.
And Kathy's reaction to that was immediate, too, right?
Telling him to stop it.
Which sort of leads us to maybe the most surprising part of all this.
Which is?
Kathy actually defending Teresa Giudice, even though, as she says, they haven't spoken in years.
Yeah, that definitely contrasts with how things often looked on screen, doesn't it?
Totally. Her descriptions were positive. Called Teresa undeniably and unapologetically who she is. Even said there's nothing devious about her.
Interesting. And she also put forward a kind of theory about when Teresa actually fights.
She did. Said it's usually only when someone goes after Luis Ruelas or, quote, someone she cares about.
Describing it as having that instinct, the instinct to protect.
It's really fascinating, especially when you remember there's also context where Kathy's sort of hinted Melissa Gorga had a hand in them leaving the show.
Right. It paints a much more complex picture than just the straightforward feuds we might have seen played out. It's not black and white.